Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live, and my apologies for being late, but the Marcus Rashford news has literally just hit, and I had to get a video up. It would have been criminal for me to wait potentially an hour and a half, which would have been 2 hours after the news come out, to not do a video on it. So it's my apologies, people. Thank you for your patience. I can already see people coming in and joining us now. We will be talking about Marcus Rashford because obviously it's an England international being available for transfer. Would you take him? That's the real question out there. Would you take Marcus Rashford at Arsenal? They need a little bit of firepower. Would you be interested in doing a deal with Manchester United? We're also going to be discussing Arsenal's current form, the 0-0 draw against Fulham on the weekend, the Premier League that was apparently over and was meant to be given to Liverpool last month. It's wide open with Chelsea just behind, Arsenal 6 points clear, and Manchester City still hanging on by a thread.
Whoa.
It's not that wide open. It's not that wide open.
It's open, but
it's open, but it ain't wide open.
It may be Christmas, but
exactly.
You know what I mean? We're not giving away them type of presents.
We're going to be talking about the latest transfer news because it is coming up to the January transfer window, and who better to have in here than Steve K. How are you doing, Steve?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really good. As you said, it's we're going to be talking about Arsenal transfer news and so on and so forth. It's hard to get away from this Marcus Rashford, though, the statement that's just come up and come out. And yeah, it looks like he's finally told everybody that he's ready for pastures new. And I dare say we'll be speaking a little bit about whether people out there who are watching tonight, whether they feel that he is someone that Arsenal could do with. Would he help us on that left hand side? Could he be the man who could, help Havertz out, down the centre at times? So yeah, we can get into that. But it's going to be a good show tonight, and Merry Christmas to everyone. So
Merry Christmas, season's greeting and all that. All right, let's get straight into the Marcus Rashford news. Breaking news has just come out from Henry Winter, the very well-known Henry Winter. Marcus Rashford, when asked if he was staying or leaving, he said, "For me personally, I think I'm ready for a new challenge and the next step. When I leave, it's going to be no hard feelings. You're not going to have any negative comments from me about Manchester United. That's me as a person. If I know the situation is already bad, I'm not going to make it worse. I've seen how players have left in the past, and I don't want that. I don't want to be that person. When I leave, I'll make a statement, and that will be it from me." There's so much that has been said in that short statement.
There is, isn't there? Yeah.
Part of it, but
get a lot
let's
in that.
break down that first bit right now. He asked a question, and he was very straight to the point and very blunt. You're going to hear nothing bad about Manchester United from Marcus Rashford. Utmost respect for that one, because you know that
100%.
A parting shot, should we say? He's having a little dig at other players that have left and have made statements previously. Obviously, he doesn't like that, which then says to me that there's been a lot of rumours going around recently that Marcus Rashford is the person who's been leaking news and match reports and team news. And I think for a person that's meant to be, it doesn't really tie in with what he's saying here in terms of feelings. Not going to hear nothing negative. He doesn't like the way that previous players have left and done that. So yeah, I'd quash those rumours in terms of Marcus Rashford being the person who's leaking team news, especially considering he has been playing for Manchester United under Aramin as well. He also goes on to say that if I know the situation is already bad, this says a lot to me. This says that Manchester United have made it clear that it's time for both to part ways. If I know it's already bad, something's been said. Something has been said.
I think he's, as I said, these are only speculations. We can't. Do you know what I mean? None of us, as of yet, know what's been said and what's gone on. But I think we can just speculate from that. I get the feeling, he's been told that, maybe this is the time for you to move on and find another club. And he came out with this, and it's quite not unusual, but it's quite telling that he's come out of it after the Man City game where he was dropped out of the squad completely, and then literally on the Monday he came out with this. So it's telling, mate. And look, I think it's a good. He's worded it well. I think he's told us a lot in those few words, like you've already mentioned there. And you have no hard feelings, and rightly so. At the end of the day, I think Marcus Rashford has done a lot for Manchester United. He has been good up to the last 2 seasons. You can't argue with that. And Manchester United in turn have been good for him. It's came to a point now where it's probably best for all parties, for club and for player, that he moves on. And I think I was a bit unsure whether that Marcus Rashford was one of these players who couldn't see that, or maybe that he felt that I could hang on here and I could find my way. But when Amorim come in and you see the system he's targeted to play, and you see the way Amorim wanted to set up, and from the first few games, and we all knew that as football people that Marcus Rashford wasn't one of these players who was going to fit into that system. It's very similar to like a goalkeeper, mate. It was. I likened it to. So many people I had conversations with. Goalkeeper plays in one position, right, and that's it. It was in this situation, Rashford was in that type of situation where, unless you sort of did it like down the middle as a centre forward, you really couldn't. You was no use anywhere else. So and it looks like Højlund's going to be that man, and they're looking for other people to come in. But the big thing now will be where he will go, and what club he will go to. I don't think the wages will be a problem. I know he's on reportedly 325,000 a week. As I said, like from what I'm hearing, Manchester United are just willing to take the hit. They're willing to accept a decent fee for him. No, nothing like ridiculous where it'll be difficult for him to leave. It'll be a fee where it's, certain clubs can afford him. So, and it won't be difficult for him quickly. It sounds to me that they want to get him out quick, not only for Manchester United's benefit, but for Marcus Rashford's benefit. As I say, let them come to some kind of agreement and let them both move on.
Yeah, no, I agree. The second part of his statement says, I'm halfway through my career. I don't expect my peak to be now. I've had 9 years so far in the Premier League, and that has taught me a lot. That has helped me grow as a player and as a person. So I don't have any regrets from the last 9 years. I won't have any regrets going forward because I take things day by day, and sometimes bad things happen, sometimes good things happen. I will just try and keep a fine balance. The best is yet to come, 100%. That's my mentality. Again, fair play from Marcus Rashford. He's looking at it in a positive light. I think people have got to respect what he said there. And we've also got to remember, this is someone who's been at the club, not just been in the Premier League for 9 years. He's been at the club probably near enough 20 years. Like, he's been there since he was a little kid, at least 15. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's come up through the ranks. He's a local boy. He's fulfilled his dream of playing for Manchester United, his local club or the big club in his area, and one of the biggest clubs in the world. And he's a good player. He's a good player. He's had a good time there. It's been for a while. It felt like he needed a new challenge. He needed a new situation, new scenario, which will hopefully help him in his development, because I still think there's more to come from Rashford. I don't think, like we saw what he was like a few seasons ago, where he was smashed in 20 plus goals in a season. You don't go from that to what he is now. Like, you don't just fall off a cliff like that. There's got to be something. He needs a fresh start, I'd say. A new coach, new settings, and hopefully you can get more out of him. Steve, the big question.
The big one.
Over the next few days.
Yeah.
Martinelli and Trossard not quite hitting the notes that Arsenal need. Would you take Marcus Rashford at Arsenal on that left?
Oh dear. I'd certainly take him when he was scoring 30 goals a season on that left. I feel a little bit at the moment. I'm literally split because for one we knew, we know what Marcus Rashford can do, when he's on it, and the big question is, can Mikel Arteta turn him round and get him back to some kind of player from what he used to be, and would it be too big a risk? I mean, I tell you what, I think I'd like to see him if he came. I think I'd like to see him come if he came in July on a loan deal, for instance, until the end of the season. And then we had sort of like we could have an option if we wanted to, take up a buy, and just to see how he did. Then I'd be quite intrigued of that to see how you do, because we know how difficult it is in January to buy players. It's literally impossible. Mm-hmm. So from what I'm hearing, there is a good chance that he could possibly at first go out on loan in January. I've had that confirmed by quite sources quite high up, to Manchester United. So yeah, again, I say I'm intrigued by it, mate, because I know what he can do. He's frustrated the hell out of me, mate, over the last season and a half. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? If there's one thing I hate about a footballer, is someone who don't run back, don't chase back, who looks like they're not bothered. Mm-hmm. And if he came to Arsenal, he wouldn't last 5 minutes at Arsenal. If he had that type of, frame of mind. If he was to play, for instance, on our left, if he was one of those players who would have to do that, if he was one of our players who would, sort of help Havertz out, after 30 minutes, he would have to do a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of work, because that's what you have to do as an Arsenal player. You're not just someone who just stands there and you're given the ball. If you're a forward and you're playing down the centre, you've got to chase back, run back, get into the midfield.
Which is one thing that Martinelli does do. He tracks back, and Trossard does it as well. He's been told to, even though it may not be Trossard's game, but he's got to do it.
And Havertz does it as well. As I said, forward, he drops in, and so he would have to do that. That's where my trepidation comes in. Is he capable of doing that? But I'm intrigued, mate. I don't know about you. I'm intrigued. If he come, there'd be that little interesting to see how he would do. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't want. I think at first, if he did came, I wouldn't want to sort of buy him for 40 million, or 35 million or something. If United come to an agreement and take him, I'd rather wait until the summer.
What do you think would be a fair price for him?
I think now I think you're looking at. I think just if you're looking at the player now, I think with the risk that you need to take, I think you're looking at probably what is the age? Is 27. I'd say you're looking at about 35, 40. Around about that. I don't think he's any more than that at this stage.
Yeah, no, and I think if you would have a few seasons ago, if you would have said Marcus Rashford's going for 35, 40 million, I'd bite your hand off for it.
Yeah, what do you think though? Do you think that's too little? I mean,
I think if you can get I think any club that can get Marcus Rashford for 30 million, 35 mil, with the potential to turn him into a player who could get you 15 goals a season, I think he's a great deal.
What would you buy him if someone said to you, right, 35 million Arsenal?
Yeah,
you can buy him in January, 35 million. Would you take that, or would you say nah? Still rather low?
I don't know. I think I'm a bit more on what you're on, which is I'd like to see him on a loan, because I think that I think when you're talking about any player that's coming into this Arsenal team, as you know, what we've seen players that have been and gone and come in and gone, like there's a certain level of mentality you got to have to even get into this team. Otherwise, you're not even going to play, and it's just a waste of time even being there. So it's not that I worry about Rashford's attitude, but what we've seen at Man United for so long, there has to be a question asked as to whether it was the setting he was in,
100%,
or whether it's the player. And I think that alone would alleviate a lot of those worries. Either way, whether it's, do you know what, this is going to work for us? He did need a new challenge. He did get a bit stagnated.
Is there a space for him, mate? Is there a space for a Rashford at Arsenal?
If you sell a Trossard or Martinelli,
if you sell them, if you're so you're saying like that one of them would have to if Rashford come, one of them would have to go.
100%. Otherwise, you're going to have a similar situation that you've got at Man United, where Rashford's essentially like he's not even a rotation at the moment. Rashford, if he's going to come into any team, needs to be a starter, or you two have got this position. You are on rotation, and you can.
Yeah, I don't think he's not a start. He's not a starter at Arsenal now,
and that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
No, he's nowhere near it.
He had to earn his place in the squad. But then how hard would that be? Like right now, off of that left, like it baffles me as to why Sterling's not even getting the go. When you see what Trossard and Martinelli are producing at the moment, which is not much. You got a frustrated Trossard who's annoyed every game, which he can't play like that. Like,
no, you can tell he's got the up.
He's too tense. He's too annoyed. He's just not free flowing.
And he was like that at Brighton, mate, wasn't he? That's why he had all the aggro with the thing there, because he dumpy and moany, and the manager got fed up with him, didn't they? In the end, he said, just go get out.
Yeah, in the end.
So he's got that bit about him, hasn't he?
And he has. Look, there's upgrades that are needed in this team. There's changes that are needed in this team. The talk was that Arsenal need a striker and Arsenal need an elite striker. I've spoken to many people about this, and I've come to the conclusion like this talk of an elite striker, I think it's just nonsense.
No, I agree, mate.
Like we need a striker, and we both agreed on that. But elite, like what? Who's elite? Like
who's elite?
Elite? Like, because the names that you say to me are elite, they're just top strikers. They're just good strikers. Don't come at me with Ollie Watkins. Like, don't.
No, he's not elite. Even Isak is not really elite.
Isak, like Isak,
great. He's a top player. Top
player, and I think he's got a high ceiling to go. But Arsenal are going to have to pay 120 mil for him. And when he goes and bags 2 goals on a weekend, it stays at 100 mil. When he goes 3 weeks without scoring, 120 mil. When it goes 3 weeks without scoring, it might drop to 100 mil. But Newcastle ain't budging on that. Why would they have to?
Yeah,
no need for them to sell, and then you start getting into the next step. Like, and that's what I mean. I'd rather take the next step down. Which
Gorikis and Sesko, Gorikis, Sesko type of thing.
I don't know. I think that when we're talking about the elite strikers that people are talking about, I think that they're talking about the Gorikis and Seskos as well. So I think
which ain't elite, are they? They get the words mixed.
They're not elite.
They're not elite.
For me, elite is Lewandowski. Elite is the Canes. They're elite, proven elite, and elite again. We're talking late 20s, 28, 27, 20 to 31. That's when you're getting the elite. Been there, seen there, done it. Knows every single angle of where that goes with the eyes shut. Great carers, I'm sorry, you're not elite.
Yeah. And Watkins,
is the elite bracket. They ain't elite.
Yeah, there's a reason why Watkins is, still at Villa at 30 years old.
There's a reason why Kevin said he'd take Watkins as a Haaland understudy, because he'd be a great second striker. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Man City had Ollie Watkins and Haaland? It'd be great for them. Brilliant.
Yeah, Gorikis is a little bit different. I think he's one that's just people have missed. Do you know what I mean? I think he's gone under the radar with like a load of clubs, and we're like, how did we miss this geezer? You know, this is someone who was just. I think he got because he was in the lower leagues. People just didn't see him, and they missed him. They missed him.
Brighton had him, loaned him out. Ended up, I think they ended up selling him. Then he went to Coventry, and then he went to Sporting, and then he smashed up at Sporting. So
60 goals in 61 games he's got. I don't care what league you're playing in.
That's a ridiculous record. It's a ridiculous record.
Even when Arsenal played Sporting and Arsenal beat Sporting 5-1 and Gyökeres played, even in that 5-1 thrashing that we gave them, he still looked he looked apart, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? There was something about him that was like he was looking up at the skies like I shouldn't be here. And he was like he was the only one that would really try, and he was like to score goals. And even at 5-1, you was like, oh, you still better watch him. Do you know what I mean? Because his head ain't gone down. He's still trying to get on the score sheet. He's just a goal monster. But and I tell you what, just like quickly on the Rashford thing, he's your typical Arsenal January signing, isn't he? It's just when you go back over the years, you look at players we brought in January, 27, 28. Do you know what I mean? Player who was at a club, but now they're sort of fell out with them like Trossard did, and then we brought him in and but whether Man United to sell to Arsenal as well, I mean that's the question. If Arsenal ever did want him, I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past them. Honestly, I would not put it past them. I feel like they would. I feel like Man United would be willing to sell. I think they're in a situation where, like, with Rashford, because of his wages, because they want to get him off the book so quickly, I think they're in a situation where it's kind of like we've just got to. We'll be happy to anyone to take him. I don't think they're looking and worrying like, oh, this could come back to bite us in the arse.
I think as well. I think if Rashford said, "Look, I'm happy to go. I'm happy to like cut me wages. I'm happy to leave you and get the wages off the books for you." If he said like, "I want to go and play for Arsenal," I think they might just think they're not going to turn around and say, "Nah."
I don't think they would.
No.
I think part of this
if they want him out that bad,
hard for them as they make it as hard for him. I think that's what people look. When you've been in a club for 9 years, I think there's going to be a certain level of let's help each other out here. We saw it we've seen it with other teams and that wouldn't normally sell to each other. I don't see it as an issue.
If I'm Marcus Rashford now, which I'm not, and Arsenal want me, I'm going. I'm going in a heartbeat, mate. Do you know what I mean? But
you have to get Marcus Rashford back in love with football to get the best out of him. It's simple. Manchester United for so long he doesn't love football anymore. But do you not think the move to a club, a new setting, would give him a new lease of life in football? He seems hungry. He says I think he's got something to prove. I think there's a lot of doubters out there that don't believe Marcus Rashford. He's got opportunities to get back into the England squad under a new management with Thomas Tuchel. I think this is all part of it. Wanting to still play part for England. He's only 27. As he said, he should be hitting the peak of his career.
That's why. That's why I think like if you're Mikel Arteta and you're Marcus Rashford and you've seen the words that he's come out with in his statement, in his quotes. He's like, look, I'm still young. I still want to do this. I want to do that. This definitely ain't the end of me. If you are a Mikel Arteta or anybody else, I think that what you're saying to him is, look, we'll take you on loan. If you want to come here, you go and prove it to me, and we'll buy you at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Prove to me, right, that you want to be, get back in the England squad. Prove to me you are still a top 4 player, striker. Go and prove it to me. And if you, and that's the best way to do it. And if you do it, then but as I say, at Arsenal, he would have to do. I think he would have to do a lot more things than he would if he was at Man United. You know,
Yeah.
different play different way, didn't they? You know, two different teams, the way they play, set up differently. They always have done, really. They're never been the same. You know, so yeah, it'd be interesting, mate. It'd be an interesting one, but we'd have to wait. We'd have to wait and see. I mean, what other clubs are there? You look at probably Newcastle, maybe.
Man's another one that's been sniffed around for years. I think it would suit him. I think in France, the pace of France, I think it'd be a good player in France. I don't think there's too many options for Marcus Rashford. If I'm honest, there's not. You don't want to go too low because it's him, and they won't be able to afford him. Newcastle, but then you've got Anthony Gordon there. Like, does that work?
Do you know what I would take? I would take maybe if like we was talking yesterday on the transfer exchange show, and I think it was Garth who mentioned going to Bundesliga. Well, we all did really to a certain degree. That would be a good player.
Yeah.
So going to like the Bundesliga. I mean, what I would again, this because it's the Arsenal show. I'm just saying what would be good for Arsenal. Let him go to Bayern Munich or something. With Kane and Elise. He's got his mates there. Eric Dyer. They're all there. English thing. And then we'll take Leroy Sané. he ain't signed his contract yet. We'll take Sané from you, and you're gonna have Rashford, and we'll bring Sané to Arsenal because I really like Sané. I think he's a quality player. That's just me making trouble. I think trying to. It'd be an interesting one, mate. It would be an interesting one, but we need someone on.
Now, we will probably hear very soon about where Marcus Rashford will be going. I think
big statement there from Simon. There, big statement from he'd play Rashford instead of Martinelli.
I think if he comes to Arsenal, he would fall back in love with football just because of the players around him. I want Gabriel Martinelli off that left-hand side. He's not so good. He's not good enough. I would rather play Rashford on the left instead of Martinelli.
What now, Si? I don't know about now. I mean, he's a bit of a risk now, isn't he? I mean, yeah. I mean, if he comes to Arsenal, he'd probably sit on the bench again, wouldn't he, at first?
Martinelli has not been in form for the last 18 months.
So was Rashford.
Yeah, well, it's... I mean, yeah. You look at the goal scoring records though. Who's had a better goal scoring record? It's been Marcus Rashford. He's probably more clinical than Martinelli. But look, Martinelli's not over. We still have faith that there is a player in there that can reach.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The expectations that we had of him before. All right, let's get on to the Everton game. It was not good this weekend. 0-0 draw against Everton. Arsenal struggled to break down an Everton team that came in to defend, and to be fair to them, they did the job that they could. Criticism has been laid at the feet of Mikel Arteta for bringing on Ethan Nwaneri and taking off captain Martin Odegaard. Wasn't enough to make a difference. There are some issues at the moment, but can Arsenal get through them? Steve, not great this weekend.
No.
Past few weeks has been very, very up and down. Big wins against Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Sporting. Although people will mock Arsenal for the way they beat Manchester United, they beat Manchester United 2-0. But a loss against Fulham and a draw. No, a loss against Newcastle and a draw against Fulham, followed by a draw against Everton, has meant that Arsenal have not been able to capitalise on the dropped points by Liverpool. Frustrating, but Arsenal still very much in the title race due to other people just not taking advantage again of points being dropped. But what do Arsenal need to do to get out of this slump?
I don't know. They seem to be lacking a little bit of zest, if you like, well, no, I mean I can take the defence out of this. The midfield and the forward line seems to be lacking something. Whether that's a lack of form, I don't know. I mean, we're not losing matches of late. Since Odegaard's return, we've been winning matches. Quite convincingly at times, but there's also been times where we've been drawing matches we should win. Look, Fulham's not easy. It wasn't easy, and look, that we was very unlucky with the offside goal. It was a toenail, wasn't it? And we could have easily come away with 3 points there. So, but there is a lack of something. There's players who we know are just not performing like they should be recently. We've been speaking like quite extensively over the last few weeks, yesterday as well, about the left-hand side. And now I personally, and we feel that, that's the problem, that because of Martinelli just can't seem to find that form. He's stop, start, and then it's more stop than start. He seems to be trying to do much. And then Trossard's coming on and he's not making it, the impact. Jesus is coming on, he's not making any impact. And that sort of was the story of the Everton game as well. Everything that's sort of been happening over the past few weeks, sort of showed itself in that Everton game. And yeah, we need more from certain individuals. There's too many for me that needs to step up a level. But we were talking like this last year. We was all concerned about the way we was playing, and how we was just sneaking over the line in games, and then we got into January, and then we flew. So hopefully we were only 6 points off. I know Liverpool game in hand, but points on the ball's the main thing.
Yeah.
We got an opportunity this weekend to go 3 points behind Liverpool before they play on Sunday. So we need to take that opportunity, but we need more from players. I mean, that seems to be the main thing. Before before we came on the show tonight, I was looking at it and I thought, who do we need more? Who's lacking? Who needs to step up? And we go through the goalkeepers been great so far this season. Timber's been great. Saliba, Gabriel been very good. We've had that problem on that left side again. Again, it's been stop, start, stop. We can't seem to get this player who just consistently can play like 20 games as left back. And we seem to be it's either Kiyo's, it's either Calafiori, it's either Zinchenko, it's either Lewis Skelly. So that don't help, because we like our wing backs to go forward. Our left backs to go forward. And then you look at the midfield, mate, and the forward line, which is the biggest worry of them all. I mean, Rice, I don't know about you, mate, but he doesn't look the same as what he did last season. He's not getting forward enough yet. Not seeing enough penetrating runs, and I don't even know, has he scored this season? Maybe one, I don't know. But for me, he's not taking shots or getting involved in the forward. Mourinho, I don't know about him. He does a lot of good things on the ball, but attacking's not really there. Jesus is off, Martinelli's off, Trossard's off, Havertz seems to be sort of, he seems to be suffering because of other people who are off. Because he gets the ball and he lays it off beautifully. He pulls it, pings it, he plays it off, and then he moves off to go to space. But then that's where it stops, and he's not being found. And Saka's been unbelievable this season. He's one of the best players in the Premier League. So there's a lot of problems that we need to be fitting. At the moment, we're not where we want to be, and we need to fix it up fast. And the Everton game was just like I didn't know where the goal was going to come from. You could tell by like 35 minutes that you thought that we're not going to break them down here, and it turned out that way, mate. So yeah, I think there's more problems maybe than what we may be thinking of, but they're problems that can be fixed because players just need to step up. But Jesus is worrying, Trossard and Martinelli are worrying. They're the three players that really worry me the most out of the whole lot.
Yeah. Of the three, Martinelli's the one that worries me a lot, because I think he's had the longest time where he's been playing. He's getting minutes, and there's no reward coming. There's nothing from the amount of minutes we seem to be giving him to play himself back into good form. We're getting nothing from it, and he's getting nothing out of it either. He's not getting back into the form that we've seen previously, and we are. I don't want to say we feel like we've got 10 men, but at times it does. At times it feels like there's nothing. The option on the left is not an option. We've got to go down the right, and you can't keep doing that. You've got to stretch the play. I remember seeing the other day, Martin Odegaard urging the players to switch the play because they kept on going down the right, which makes it easy and predictable for the other team to defend. Like, it's very, very easy. Against Everton, everything was in front of them. Against Fulham, everything was in front of them. We're not getting beyond. We're not stretching.
It's like a trust.
We're not making them think. I don't think we're taking risks. We're not taking risks.
No.
You've got to be brave in those situations. Declan Rice, I completely agree. He's not the player he was last season. And that's not a dig. I don't think he's playing badly. I just think he's playing a different way. I think he's playing much more defensively, much more cautiously. Last season, we saw him getting all over the place. He spent the majority of the time, as soon as he gets on the ball, up and around their area on that left-hand side the majority of the time. We're seeing it in here and there. We're seeing it in some games not. I think we need him to be more consistent with that. I said it yesterday. Yes, we like new players, new toys, but like sometimes you get lost in the changes. Sometimes you've got to go to basics, and back to basics is Thomas Partey in that middle. We need to bring pace to our ball. We need to bring pace to the midfield. And I don't mean we have to have fast runners. We have to zip that ball around a lot quicker. We're allowing teams to get back into position too easily. We're not stretching them at a turn on the transition. It's not quick enough. It's slowed down, and it could be 2 passes that slows it down, which just has enough time to get them back on the ball. We should be breaking out of defence, zipping it, bang, 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 in their area, finish. We should be devastating teams. The pace that we've got between Martinelli and Saka, the goal that we've got with Martin Odegaard, it should not be a problem breaking apart defences and stretching them. But we're not. We're not. We're not inviting pressure onto ourselves to stretch them to do that. We're just trying to go at them, and everything is in front, and it's far too easy. It's been like that for a few weeks. What I don't like is this narrative that Arsenal are playing like Stoke and playing for corners. The biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard. Arsenal playing for corners. Not once have Arsenal played. Have Arsenal been nullified and have had a lack of ideas going forward and found a struggle to break down defences? Yes, that's been clear. But to say we played like Stoke, has anyone ever watched Stoke? Because if this is Stoke, they'd still be in the Premier League, mate. Like, what are you talking about? You're talking about your back right. Like, and especially when it's coming from Arsenal fans, because you've got a lack of imagination and the personality of a toenail. Like, get out of it. Just stop copying what other people are saying. It's embarrassing. It's genuinely embarrassing. And also, on another note, this league is far from over. So hearing your drivel, your absolute woe is me, I feel sorry for myself stories about how I've waited 20 years and this is another. Shut up. It's genuinely the most embarrassing content I've ever heard. 6 points off the top and you're crying like a little baby about the league's over. Get a grip. Get a grip on yourself, lad. I won't name no names, but you know who you are. Pull yourself together. It's embarrassing. You're dragging the club down and you're embarrassing yourself. Like, sort your life out. I've seen this club come from 10 points behind, 9 points behind, and not once were the fans saying, in November, it's over. It's over. Can you see doing all sorts of maths like Carol Vorderman? Can you see us getting 90 points? Can you see us getting 90? Shut up. Who in this league is going to get 90 points? Who's getting 95 points? Liverpool dropping points to Fulham at home. Chelsea could implode at any moment. This Chelsea team, Liverpool are doing exactly the same as they did last season. When there's no pressure, when there's no expectation, sweet lad, we got this lad. As soon as the pressure's on them, they're buckling. Because when the pressure's on you, it's tough. It's tough. Let's see how Chelsea handle it when the pressure's on them. Because right now they're in a party. Everyone's jumping. We've got 3 different teams. One goes to fucking the arse end of Lithuania, and then the rest of the team is staying at home, playing 1 game a week. Then you've got your cup team, you've got your Euro team. Chelsea are flying, they're having fun. They're having fun. Cool, let them. Liverpool starting to hit. Form's starting to hit. Yeah, they're feeling the pressure now. Man City have been feeling the pressure for 11 games, but they're still only 3 points above Arsenal. This Premier League is wide open. Stop whinging, stop moaning. Like, get on with it. All right, just had to get because I'm bored of seeing these videos of Arsenal fans moaning and crying and talking about the league's over. Can you see this? Can you see that? Wait, you can't see nothing. Like, open your eyes. If you're going to look at that league and tell me it's over, then you shouldn't be a football fan. What's the point? What's the point?
And what embarrasses it more? I mean, sometimes even these. I mean, as you said, like they're dragging the club down and they're making themselves look embarrassing, because we all know what they're doing, and some of them, not all of them, some of them really believe it. But we know what you're doing.
Yeah,
we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. You're making yourself look. You're making yourself look like a total prick, right? And you're embarrassing yourself, right? Because someone told you, right, on your channel, but probably the dopehead who owns the channel, not mentioning no names, but we all know who that person is, right? To go and embarrass yourself and and say something that you probably don't believe. You know, that's something, because I honestly can't believe that, you've just gone all through it there about the league not being over. We're in about like how Arteta should be sacked and how he should be gone. And it is crazy. The most craziest. Oh, it's been 5 years. What has he done? It took us 2.5 years to build the side, and then for 2 years we've had to fight. We finished second to the best team in the Premier League has ever seen. Where is their intelligence? Where is your brain? Do you not just go and find another sport? Seriously, go and find another. That's why I blocked them all. I've blocked everybody, all the podcasts. I'm going to say AFTAV. I've blocked them all. Get out. Just get off my timeline. I can't listen to your shit. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Do you think Arteta should go? A podcast. Should he go? No, he shouldn't.
Go where?
Who are you going to get in? Who are you getting for one? But for one, just use please, just use your intelligence, right? That's all I ask. Use your intelligence. People. These people are grown men. They're not kids. These are people in their 30s, 35, in their 50s, right? Just use your intelligence. It's not hard. Have some pride. In what you say and what people have to see you doing. It's like, I can't believe it. Arteta come into this club, and the club was an absolute dope hole. We had players on ridiculous wages. We had players who could just feel they could do what they want.
Yeah,
the training ground was
videos.
The fan base was a joke.
See, remember the videos of like a band?
It wasn't for him.
Making constantly having a laugh and joking at Saka and the younger players. And at the time, I always felt like this don't feel like this is everyone having a laugh. This feels like you're just going around mocking people, and you're that. And it was that. It was 100% that.
Do you know what?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what?
Around and laughing and joking, mate. We're sitting 8th in the league, and you're fucking making videos about how Saka's turned up in a suit. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we have a go at Man United, right? We take the piss, we have a banter. But I tell you what, I watch their podcast, right? They stick by it. They sometimes blindly. Yeah. Right? Sometimes blindly. But I tell you what, they stick. They sometimes you think you're talking rubbish, you're talking blind, you're this, you're that. But they're behind their players, they're behind their club, they're blindly behind their managers sometimes.
Yeah.
And they support. us. Oh, it's terrible saying talking like this for an Arsenal show. It's
there's
absolutely it's terrible.
There's a certain section of Arsenal fans that feel like they need to be the ones that says it how it is. I'm going to be the real one. Well, I don't understand. No, that's your opinion. It's not a fact. It's your opinion. Like, and your opinion is based off what? What of recent history? What? All of a sudden, you're going off of the last 2 seasons that Arsenal have had. Yeah, like Man City were involved in those. Man City fall off a cliff. The one season Man City fall off a cliff, and Arsenal have had a little bit of a bad patch. Arsenal, you've seen that as well as Man City, because you like to laud Man City about how they can go on these devastating runs and go unbeaten and whatnot.
Where were they? Where have they been?
Arsenal lost 1 game up until 7, 8 games into this season in 2024. 1 game, and that was in January. 1 game we lost, and then from there we went unbeaten. So why can Arsenal not do it? Why can they not do it? Because I can't see him doing it in the way we're playing. No one can see him doing it the way we're playing. The whole point is we have to pick up our phone.
Do you know where we are now? We're in December, yeah? Yeah. Coming up to Christmas, coming up to January.
The busy Christmas period, which will set the tone of the league, trust me.
Do you know how many games we've lost in the Premier League since January? Fucking 3. 3. You're an embarrassment. You're embarrassment. People who have a go at our club. 3 games, and you're talking about the manager out, and you're talking about and you're slagging off players. You're an absolute embarrassment to our football club.
Yeah,
a total embarrassment. We've got 246. I hope they're all Arsenal fans watching tonight and people that are watching afterwards, because they've got to be called out, these people. And the sooner they're just dissociated from Arsenal Football Club, the better we can move on, because
everyone's entitled to their opinion, yeah. And if at the end of the season you said to yourself, do you know what, I've seen what Mikel Arteta can do, and I think we do need a change of direction, yeah, mate, that is fine for you to say that. That for me,
but you've got to have some kind of context to that.
Yeah, of course. Say that all you want. If Arsenal haven't progressed in the way that you feel, you're fully entitled to your opinion, yeah? But we're not even at the end of the season. We're not. You were saying this a month ago because you can't see. I can't see, so therefore that is it. Gospel. He should leave. He's this. He's that. And it's just like, come on. I don't respect anyone that's looking at this current situation now and saying the manager needs to leave. And then when I ask you, who would you bring in? Who would you bring in? You say stupid things like, well, Mikel Arteta was his first job when he came in, and so why can't we do that again? So what? So the thing that you're saying, you don't.
So you rip up everything he's done.
But not just that. The thing that you're saying you don't like about Mikel Arteta, he's inexperienced, he's learned on the job. You're willing to do again. Like, what is wrong with you? When I asked you who you'd get in Inzaghi. Why is Inzaghi leaving Milan to come to Arsenal right now? The team that were in the Champions League.
We get told by Liverpool fans, right, and fans of rival clubs, of other clubs, who will say the same thing, that Jurgen Klopp's the 3rd greatest manager the Premier League's ever seen. Right? He's won 1 Premier League in the COVID year. That's it. That's all he's done. That's Premier League 1. And for me, it's all. Oh, he won the Champions League, but it's what you do. Your club is judged on what you do in the Premier League. Forget what winning a cup. You can get draws. That's a bit of luck of the draw. You have a day out. You win a trophy. Great. Champions League, even a bit to the same. Sometimes if you get a dodgy draw, if something falls the wrong way, then you're out, right? Your club, your manager are judged on what you do in the Premier League and the progress that you make in that, right? Arteta, right, has only ever gone one way, and that's on the up. And for me, even if he had a bad season this year and he finished say if he finished 4th, for me, okay, you finished 4th, you go again. You go again next year.
Yeah,
and everybody. I won't even like.
Yeah,
bother conversationalising with someone who says to me, yeah, but you finished fourth. I don't care. I don't care. He's not going anyway because he's just signed a 3-year contract. It would mean Arsenal would have to pay £30 million to finish his contract. And due to FFP and PRS, it's an impossibility. So stick that up your arse, and people who want Arteta out at the end of the year, because that's a fact, right? A 100% fact. If we want to talk about facts and not opinions, that is a fact. And that is not happening because it's the law. So end it. And I'm afraid that but when do you ever hear on any podcast someone say, yeah, but it's a pointless conversation because he's just signed a 3-year contract. It would mean Arsenal have to pay him 30 million at the end of the year if he went. And just due to the law on PRS and FFP and whatever, it's just, you're not allowed to do that. It's an impossibility. You'd end up getting done or points deducted. When do you ever if someone say that? No, they don't, because they're either too thick or they want clicks and things for their podcast. That's what it is.
Yeah. Look, like I said, at the end of the season, if you are of the opinion that you think that Arsenal need to change management, then fair. But I don't see the point in having a conversation in November about sacking the manager when you're 6 points clear behind the league leaders. Like it's actually insane to me that we're even having these conversations now.
But to me, I'm not saying everybody knows the way like PSR and FP, but it's not. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So why, why not get behind everybody? Get behind the club. Look, I know, we've got fans all over the world, and everybody, we're not going to reach everybody, but by saying that, but just get behind. It's not going to happen. It ain't happening. He's not leaving. It's an impossibility. It's the law against his league. Unless you want Arsenal to be docked some points at the end of the following season, maybe you'd want that, for the fact that, sack him and get docked 12 points. Something like that, something stupid. But just why bother? It's an absolute, look, let's be clear. It's a pointless conversation to have. So just get behind the team. I just don't see why people want to do videos and do videos that are going to benefit the club, or you're going to talk some sense that have some kind of truth behind it.
That's the problem I had. A lot of the people. Look, 90% of the people that make these videos, of course, they're going to get behind the team. And if the team starts winning, they're not going to turn around and start saying, "No, look, I still want the manager gone." They're just going to bury their head in the sand. And when the next bad result comes their way, they're going to pull out the phone and start making another video again. But there is a subsection of fans that's just not going to support. I just don't understand. It's just weird to me. It's just weird to me. You should be fully behind the team, no matter what the situation is. You've got to be backing your team right now, and it's not even as if we're in a
Why
bad
would
way.
you not? Why would you not want them, mate? You've called it. You called it with he came in Arteta. He was a laughing stock. He got us to a point where we challenged and we were shocked. We all shocked. The footballing world was shocked. Fucking hell, where'd that come from? Yeah. They challenged for the title. We didn't expect that. And then last year, it was we expect Arsenal to go and win it now because they challenged last year.
I know.
Right, let's go. They're the team. They're the team. Forgetting that Man City were at that point this unstoppable juggernaut, the best team in the world by all accounts. We took them to the last day, right? And and we lose the league by 2 points. And then we were into this league. We win on Saturday. We go 3 points behind Liverpool, and we're happy. So do you get how stupid these people are? To be able to start calling out our performances. We're seeing lead judges wanting to shoot Odegaard.
I did see that. No, because you mentioned it yesterday. I didn't hear it, but I heard it.
Yeah,
what an idiot.
And Lee Gunner, or this Lee Gunner bloke, or Gunner Lee.
I'd shoot him.
Slagging. Yeah, go and have a beer, Lee. Go and do your favour. No, don't go in the pub, mate, because it ain't helping you, mate. Unbelievable. You're having too many beers. Right? Wait until after, mate. I'll come in and have a beer with you after the game. More than happy, because apparently you're a nice bloke. But I don't think you can handle it before, because you talk shit. So and you're talking about having to go at not Lewis Skelly, Ethan Where he's saying because he's 17-year-old kid, and he should be put. what was he on for 20 minutes in a game where the whole team was playing shit? You know, there's not one player on that pitch who played well apart from Saka, and he's sitting there talking about a 70-year-old geezer who come on as a substitute. It's just embarrassing, mate.
Yeah, no, it is very, very embarrassing. Oh,
Palace tomorrow.
Yeah. Looks like Arteta's biting your head. Oh, what's that? Steve is a good guy to have a beer with. Oh, there we go. It's 2 a.m. Where did this come through? This is odd. What are we on now? Crystal Palace preview. Steve, it's a big game. It's a big game.
Yeah.
Look, Crystal Palace, we want to win some trophy. We want to win some silverware. It will quieten off some of the dogs that are barking and chomping at the bit, and it will give the team a little bit of togetherness and you know what I mean. That fire in your belly to win more competition. So it's going to be a tough game though, and it's a double header in it against Crystal Palace. It's Premier League on the weekend, and the Carabao Cup tomorrow as well. So we're going to be meeting them twice. 2 victories. Are you seeing that?
2 victories? Yeah, definitely, mate. Why not? You know, it's 2 games against Palace. I watched them against Brighton the weekend. Watched the whole game, and they was really decent. But to be fair, you know, Brighton are going through a bit of a patch at the minute. So, and they could have had some goals, but the fair play to Palace, they played well. But it's the cup, isn't it, mate? First of all, and yeah, look, I mean, if we win this, we're in the semi-final. So it's you know, it's one now that I want to win. I mean, I was sort of like giving a bit of stick at the end, probably a little bit rightly so at the beginning of the season, where I was like, yeah, I ain't bothered about the cups. But it's like I said, when they come around and you get to a certain stage, you do feel different. And I did say that at the time. I was like,
mate, you get to the Wembley final, we'll be standing there.
Yeah, of course you do.
No, of course, I'll be running around my garden if we win it. Because look, if Arsenal get through, to the semi-final, there's a potential that it's a very tough run into the final. Like Man United still in there, Tottenham in there, Liverpool, Newcastle. This is not easy. This isn't going to be one of them runs where you got an easy run to the final, and if you get to the final, you've got an easy final. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough.
Football's a funny game, mate. Football's a funny game because, like, I said
the other week, I said I feel like this is going to be a situation where, like, Claudio Ranieri, when Arsenal beat Chelsea in the league, but ended up getting knocked out of the Champions League. We've got Man United coming up in the cup. Could potentially meet them again in the Carabao Cup. Be interested to see what happens from there. But it's a couple of big games coming up, and we need to start getting back to winning ways, especially in the Premier League. We really do need to start getting those 3 points on the table because it's getting a bit restless, and we can't keep dropping points. This was meant to be our run of games where we had a decent run of games, but it's turned out not to be that way. So it's a good thing we have managed to get points off the likes of Aston Villa, who we dropped points against last season. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Though. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Not tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. As I said, like, it's funny how football's a funny game. At the beginning of the season, I didn't even want to talk about League Cup. I was like, don't talk to me about League Cup. I don't want to talk about League Cup. I want to go and win the title. Now I'm like, quarterfinals, semi-finals. Now I can feel the goose pimples now starting to come on the old arms now. And I'm like, Wembley's final. And it'd be interesting to see what team he puts out. I'd be interested to see what team he puts out. Who, I hope he's now. Before, like, I was like, just play the second string. Now I'm like, put the full team out. Let's go and win it. Get to the semi. But what do you think? What do you think the team you'll pick, mate? What do you think you'll play? I think we've got to rotate it a little bit.
Would you play Jesus instead of Havertz?
Yes,
you would. Okay.
Yes, because I think we need to have our alternatives keep fresh, be options. If if Jesus scores a goal in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, which gets Arsenal through, that could be the ignition to get him scoring some goals. So yeah, and I think we need that.
I think Skelly will probably play again
because get Stern on that left.
Oh, Skelly definitely, 100%. Yeah, Saka, I suppose, will have to play when he Saka, Sterling, and Jesus. Do we agree there?
Yeah, I think that could be all right. I think we're probably going to see Jorginho, Moreno,
Odegaard, or Nemweri. Nemweri, wouldn't it? Be Nemweri.
Yeah.
And then
fullbacks so short. It's so short at the back.
Do you know what I was going to say a little while ago? Just coming off Crystal Palace minute. I know Timber's been doing really well, but I do miss Ben White. There's something about him I miss.
Yeah, no, he's a different type of player. He's a different type of player, different going forward. It does seem very much like Timber does do the invert, whereas Ben White very much bombing up and down,
yeah.
That line, yeah. So
I miss Ben. I think we need him back. As some sort of capacity.
Like this is what I mean. Like a lot of people are very quick to chop and change and swap, and as soon as a new player comes in, it's the assumption that they're taking over that. But it doesn't have to necessarily be like that.
No,
sometimes horses for courses. Ben White works on that right. It was working with Timber on the left as well. Like it was an option. It was very much an option.
So what are we bringing in? We're bringing in Kior, are we? What are we playing? Timber, Sleeper, and Kior.
Kior's going to have to play.
And Lewis Skelly is the only one we got.
Lewis Skelly and Saliba's going to play, and then David Raya in goal. I don't see too many changes, but I do see changes in areas where we kind of need to.
Do you think maybe Saka rest, Sterling on the right with Trossard on the left?
Going on right, Trossard. It can work.
I'm only thinking like Saka, does he need resting? Is this a game to rest him, or is it now becoming a little bit?
Final, it's got serious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Serious.
Here's a question for you. Mate. What one will you take him? 3 points Saturday or win tomorrow?
Oh, we need the 3 points. The prolonged pain of not getting 3 points in that Premier League.
Yeah, so you take a loss tomorrow and 3 points if that.
Yeah, but I'd rather not. Why you got to put that on? What's going on?
Because I tell you why I'm doing that, because you gave me the Liverpool Chelsea one yesterday, so I'm getting you back after that one.
Now on to some transfer news. I know that there's a little bit of transfer news, an exclusive that you dropped earlier.
Yeah,
it was a player from, what was his name again? It was
Lucien
Agamay.
Yeah. Sevilla.
Former Inter Milan midfielder and Sevilla player.
Yeah.
What's the latest on that?
Yeah, well, the name was given to me. I was like, all right, yeah, okay. And then as soon as I put the phone down, I was like, I've never heard of this bloke before. Who is this? So I had to go and do some checking up. And yeah, he's a 22-year-old French under 21 international. It was like you said, he was at Troyes in France. Then he went to Milan, and then he now he's at Sevilla, and apparently he's being looked at some of the top clubs in Europe. And yeah, he looks tasty, mate. He looks tasty. He is, as I say, I knew nothing about him before I was told. So did a little bit of own work, went on, checked him out, a few clips and that. He is, for people out there watching, he is Thomas Partey. If you go and watch him, he's like exactly the same as Thomas Partey in the way he moves, the way he's build, the size, he's very similar. Yeah, so people out there watching, go and have a watch, go and have a look. He's very similar to him. But look, this ain't someone who's going to come in and replace anybody. And as sort of the headline was a little bit misleading, it was he's coming in. Arsenal looking for a young midfielder, just basically because of Partey and Jorginho, whether they stay or not, or sign a year's extension. They are looking for a young midfielder. Arsenal haven't really got a young midfielder coming in or in the wings in that position.
Yeah.
So Arsenal are looking.
Who's ready?
And this guy is someone Arsenal seems to be looking at Spain a lot recently. We've got Mourinho. They're looking at obviously Nico Williams and they've sort of hunting the La Liga, and this is one of the guys that they've I don't know if you've had a chance to have a look at him, but he looks a player, and going by the comments, plenty of comments of people praising him who know him well. I think he's like from Cameroon at birth, so many of our Cameroonian Arsenal fans seem to knew him quite well, and have said that this is the future. This guy is really good. So definitely one to look on. Definitely one to go on YouTube and have a look at. As I say, he looks decent, and hopefully we'll see him at Arsenal soon.
And are there any other transfer stories that are going about at the moment?
There's a little one. We're looking with Arsenal. We're looking at a goalkeeper. So there's possibly a goalkeeper could come in January. I've been given a name. The Leeds keeper is someone that I need to look into. That I've been told that Arsenal are interested in. I haven't. It's not from one of my what I would call top sources, if you like. So. But it's one we're keeping an eye on. But the Leeds keeper, his contract's running out in 2026. And
what one?
I pronounce his name. Is it Ilian Misalia? Misalia?
He's got such a ricket in him. Oh,
they're top of the league though, Leeds, aren't they? They're doing. But do you know what? I was speaking to Robin Barnier, and he's like his French football expert and football transfers, and he said to me, yeah, nice one, keep an eye on it, Steve. He said, but he didn't half have a ricket.
Oh mate, he does. Oh, so bad.
So everybody's saying about his ricket.
Used to like him. Honestly, I do not like it. I do not rate him.
I said to him, I really don't know. I just apparently his contract's running out, and his contract's not going well. They've not sort of like pushing to sign him. He's getting a little bit fed up, and obviously he'll be a number 2. He's obviously not going to, be he's not. That's what Arsenal are looking at. Obviously, I don't think, from what I'm hearing, Arsenal are really confident in playing Neto. So I think if a goalkeeper does come available, or they can grab one in January, that it wouldn't surprise me, because if Raya goes down, from what I'm hearing, they're not 100% confident in Neto in training. So, but yeah, it's be an interesting one. And then we're only like a couple of weeks, now until the main window, and we're going to have to see what Arsenal have got planned. So, I'm sure something could come in. Someone will come in. I think it needs to.
Yeah, it does. It does. All right. On that note, that is all we have time for today. Make sure you come and if you're new to the show, press that like and subscribe button. If you are a regular, press that like button. If you're watching on Twitter, please press that retweet and press that like button. Make sure you get in the comment section as well. It helps us push to the top. Big games this weekend. Big games tomorrow as well against Crystal Palace. Fingers crossed. We need the win tomorrow, and we need the win on the weekend.
Spurs, do us a favour. Come on, Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Do us a favour.
It's not be here again. It's not go there again. Make sure you go and follow Steve for the latest transfer news and rumours as well. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.